please reach out to somebody. All right, now the promo. Hey everybody, Tim with the Attitude for Gratitude podcast down here at Will Work for Recovery, 4026 Washington Avenue North, every Friday night. Starts at 8 p.m. You're about to see the show in a few minutes after, depending on how long I sit and do this for right now. But I'm just doing this little promo cut to let you guys know about Will Work for Recovery. We're a nonprofit ROC, and we're one of the world's largest recovery community organizations out there. It's a resource place. It's a one-of-a-kind place to come down to. If you haven't been here, I challenge you to come check it out. If you have been here, then you know. Stay tuned for the show, and you'll hear us talk about it. Show usually starts at 8:05-ish, but we have guests that come on and share about their stories. I sometimes do a free-for-all, so I don't know who's going to be on, and we have another podcast that takes place on Wednesday nights with Jake and Ryan. That's called Rule 62. That's an open door policy. Anyone who'd like to come on and share their story or be on a podcast or be live on the internet, come on down. Or we have a big window right here where you can come down and watch a show. Other than that, every day at 7 p.m. there's a meeting that takes place that will work for recovery. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays it's a little bit bigger of a meeting. Tuesday nights is a Wellbrighty Indigenous people-based meeting. Come down and check those out. Every morning, 6:30 a.m., we have a structured meeting. But there's just tons of stuff going on down here at Will Work for Recovery. We've got Chucky, who makes the Soap of Hope, Armor of Yah. If you haven't checked that out, you need to come on down and get you a bar of this soap. He takes donations for it, or he just gives them out. If you've met Chucky, then you know. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's an interactive show, so if you have questions for the guests throughout, put them right on the comment section. My number will be going across the bottom. Feel free to utilize that phone number if you don't want your information out there. Other than that, if you're struggling tonight, please reach out. If you're having negative self-harming thoughts or anything of that nature, dial 988. It's a 24-hour hotline. Someone will pick up and be there to talk to you. Other than that, check it out. It will work for recovery. Attitude for Gratitude. Every Friday night, 8 p.m. You're about to enjoy the show. I hope. If you want to be on, come on down. Otherwise, reach out to me and we'll schedule you on the show. Otherwise, if you have ideas for the show or you want to just be part of the show behind the scenes, there's always something for people to do down here. So reach out. Other than that, remember you're loved. Hey, everybody. Hey, how's it going, everyone out there in TikTok land and Facebook and YouTube and everything? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure all this out, so bear with me. It's going to be at the 5-year mark that I'll have it all figured out. Attitude for Gratitude. Down here at 4026 Washington Avenue North, every Friday night, 8 p.m. Well, 8:04 p.m. But this is what we do. We come in here and we talk about recovery. Show was off for about 6 weeks. We had those 2 shows of free-for-all. I'm probably done doing the free-for-alls. I'm going to get back to scheduling guests by popular demand, by what everyone's been asking for, and we're getting back into the groove of things. I got my first show back with the scheduled guest is Rick and Misty, who you're about to see tonight. But we do have a little cameo from someone named Bobby, who you're going to get to meet. We'll talk to her for a few minutes, and we'll get things all hashed out, figured out. And look we also come on down. You can watch the show through the big window right here and just see how a show takes place down here at Will Work for Recovery. This is a place that you just heard in the promo. We've always got some things going on down here. It is a one-of-a-kind type of a recovery place. It's an RCO. It's a recovery community organization. We've got 6:30 a.m. structured meetings that take place down here every day except for Saturdays. And then we also have 7 p.m. meetings every night of the week. And it's open door. Everyone's welcome to come on down. I do have to remember, I did make a promo, so I'm not going to go on and on about all this and that right now. What I'm going to do is tell you, if you're struggling, please reach out. There's intergroup to call. There's all the apps on your phone, or I've given you the address. There's a number scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You can utilize that number. Come on down here, and you're going to hear us talk about all sorts of different avenues of recovery or places that you can go. Utilize that stuff. If you're having some self-harm thoughts or anything of that nature, dial 988. We know mental health is a real thing, and don't be ashamed of it. Just reach out. I had that guy on last week who talked about it. I think his name was Ivan. I'm sorry, Ivan, if I forgot your name, but it's Ivan. I know it's Ivan from Fridley, Illinois. He's a good guy, motorcycle guy. But he was saying like the study something about wait 30 seconds. If you're having those self harm thoughts, give yourself 30 seconds. It'll pass. So give yourself 30 seconds. All right. Other than that, I'm gonna switch up these camera views. It's gonna be on this camera right up here, and we're gonna get the show started. Enough of me and my ego getting fed. We know I need that. So, bingo, bango, wingo, wingo. We're golden. So, let me unmute you, right there. Welcome to the show. Oh, I bet no one could hear me. I didn't even talk into my mic that whole time. So, all you guys, now you can hear me. It's all good. This is out of here. Who are you?
Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Bobby.
Welcome to the show, Bobby. You've been to Will Work for Recovery before?
I have been. I've been coming on Fridays for the past couple of months. The funny thing about it is I'm a licensed alcohol and drug counselor in Minnesota,
Okay.
as well as a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Ooh,
And I've been sending clients to Will Works for a couple of years, never having come myself as someone who's not actually in recovery, but is an ally.
Okay.
And I live in the neighborhood. So one of my people was like, I'm going to go. And I went, you know what? I kind of want to go. And she's like, oh, please meet me. And so ever since then, I've been coming on most Friday nights because I feel the community and the vibe is just so energizing. And now I have one of my, let's call her a family member, not quite family member, who's got it just a teeny tiny bit of recovery, getting in the car, coming with me. And it just makes me over the moon happy.
Nice. So you said you're a or wait, no, I want to go back to the thing you said about being an ally, because out there you said it, and I'm like you mean opposed from being an enemy? But now I see what you're saying. Like you're here in support. You don't really have a story of addiction and alcoholism or what have you.
Well, I'm going to say I don't have a story of substance use.
Okay.
I'm going to say there's lots of things that count that nobody really thinks about because there's no cops involved.
Right. No, and that's very valid. And here's the thing. It's like, it's a can of worms that I don't want to open yet, because we talked about this beforehand. And I told you I'd do this on air, put you on the spot and say, like, before we even get into things with the title you just opened with, would you be willing to come back on as a guest like Rick and Misty and come on for the whole period of the show?
Absolutely.
And we talk about your story without the cops involved.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think what we'll do, though, just like, you said that you've referred people here for the past few years.
Yes.
All right. Have you ever been to other, let's say, meeting places?
I've been to lots of meeting places over the years.
Okay.
My very first experience with going to a meeting was in, I think it was 1991.
Oh.
I lived in South Florida, and my roommate was a strip club DJ and a magician. So there was an awful lot of alcohol and cocaine involved in his job. And I remember driving down A1A at 100 some miles an hour, and he's loaded for bear, and stopping at the beach and him falling to his knees and saying, "What am I doing?" And I stood at the phone booth and opened the yellow pages and found a dawn meeting at 6:30 a.m. And that was my first meeting I ever attended.
So real quick, some definitions here. A phone booth is a place you used to go to make phone calls. You'd put 25 cents in. And a phone book is a directory where you find, you know how many people are listening that don't know?
I know.
I think someone said the age was like 25 years old. They have no clue of life without a cell phone. So, all right, I guess what I was also getting at, and I'm making assumptions like people see this place like I do. Have you ever been to another facility that looks like this?
No.
This is the part where I like to take a can opener and get into your head about it. Explain this. Like, how would you explain this? You have clients. Yes. How would you explain this place to someone who's never been?
I would explain this. It feels a little bit like, I would say that Applebee's and a meeting had a baby with a motorcycle club. as a stepdad. I don't know.
Hey,
Right?
yeah,
So
that's how you see it.
open, comfy, chill attitude. Because I've been to lots of meetings where the chairs are lined up and you kind of file in and you're kind of freaked out and oh my God, people are looking at me and all that kind of stuff. Whereas here, when you come in, even just coming into the building, which is so whacked out to start, right?
Yep.
But you come in and people are outside in the smoking area, just relaxing and talking and, laughing. And it feels more like you're going to a party than it feels like you're going to line up and tell a bunch of stuff and people are going to, grill you about what you're doing right and wrong.
No, and that's awesome. That's the part I always like asking people. When I was doing the free for all thing, like that would be how I'd do it. I'd say like, all right, well, tell me about the first time you're here, and because a lot of newcomers come here, so I just like hearing everyone's take on it, and especially someone who's been to other meetings, because that my story goes that way. Like the first few months, I was at Alano's, and that's what I thought recovery was, and I walked in here and I just saw something different. Now to say like that's where I got my recovery, that's not even the topic right now. So you do like this place, so now you coming to hang out, bringing people here. You
Absolutely.
said you've been to some early morning meeting, 6:30 a.m. meetings.
I live close enough. I walked my dog over here, and she was welcomed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Typically, be careful about bringing your dog down here.
She doesn't like other dogs, but she did really well that day. But and it was really nice to have that early morning taste of calm and community and reach out. That was really awesome.
Yeah. So other than that, like, and this is where I'm already going to start wrapping up. What would you like to tell people out there listening? I don't know about you, about this place, about anything that has to do with what you want to share with someone right now who might be listening.
Well, recently, what's really been on me, I always feel like my personal higher power gives me some stuff to talk about. And this week in therapy and with various clients, we've been talking a lot about the difference between motivation and discipline. Because motivation is you get all this energy and you're super excited and, hoorah. But the thing is that we don't always feel like it.
Right.
Right. Versus when you have discipline, you don't care whether you feel like it or not. You just go, you just do it. I imagine, that bodybuilder dude that we all know won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody asks whether or not he's going to the gym because we all know the answer.
Yeah.
He's going to go to the gym 5 feet of snow uphill both ways, whether he feels like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's how we have to do this. We have to not wait for the motivation or the excitement for it. Sometimes we just have to show up. And the funny thing is I see a lot of people getting motivated in these doors.
Yeah. No, and I think that's a good point to bring up, and it's another topic we will talk more about when you're here. Pick a number 1 through 100. We're taking a hard left turn.
Okay. 57.
57. You guys know what we're doing? 57. What's your favorite item that you bought this year?
Oh my gosh. My favorite item that I bought this year would be the tattoo I bought myself when I was in Paris.
Are we able to see it?
Yes.
Oh, oh it's a cock. It's a cock.
Le coq.
Le coq.
Because Napoleon Bonaparte said that the rooster was the bravest animal because he's the one that chases away the darkness.
Aw, that's great. I like that. And I just had a reason to say cock on here. Pick another number. One more number.
22.
22. You like how I did that one there? All right. 22. If you could be cast in a movie of your choice, what would the movie be that you chose?
Oh my God. I'd probably have to blow some crap up.
Okay, like a Michael Bay movie then or something?
I think I'd want to be Zoe Saldana's little sister or old lady that hangs out with her or something. And she and I would just blow stuff up.
Yeah, because that's the second part of this is after you would have said the movie, it says, then what character would you like to be played? All right. Name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude. Share about your gratitude with us.
I'm just really grateful that there are people that are willing and open I just had an experience where someone came, I'm giving someone a ride home tonight, and they were very, very early in their recovery. And I'm not obviously going to sponsor someone, but they were asking about it. And I asked someone, and they immediately put together a list. And I'm just really grateful that
Barbie?
yeah, you think?
Yeah. Oh, no, she came in and I was supposed to make an announcement about that, and I will when you're done. But
And I'm just really, excited about the fact that there are people that are excited to help each other because this world kind of stinks sometimes. So it's really nice to be able to focus on helping each other and making it better.
Heck yeah. Bobby, would you be willing to come back on? You said?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Any superpower, what would your superpower be?
Oh, I already have my superpower.
What is it?
My superpower is that I am flexible. I am flexible in the fact that if crap starts to go downhill, I'm going to figure it out.
Nice. Hey, that's awesome. Thank you for coming on the show.
You are very welcome.
Appreciate you. Until next time, I will reach out. We already got each other's contact. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Bobby. All right. And what she was bringing up about was at the beginning of these meetings, if you haven't been down to We'll Work for Recovery, like, it's not one fellowship or the other. What it is here is it's a recovery community organization. So it's resource center. And it's we don't like to use the word hangout. But it's a place to come down, vibe. I don't know. You're not going to be doing, like, when you come down here, it's not going to be like what you're going to hear on the show tonight, where we're talking about steps and like structured recovery, not one fellowship versus the other. It's just not that down here. Although that morning meeting is it is a structured meeting. But other than that, like, this place is just like it's a recovery based place. It's a place to come to. No one's going to be getting high. No one's going to be getting drunk. It's going to be positive, talking about what's keeping people clean and sober today. With that, when you come to a meeting down here, every time they don't move forward with the meeting starting before everyone has a ride home. Paul or whoever's running the meeting says, hey, who needs a ride home? And the meeting doesn't start until we get it figured out. Someone will offer someone else a ride. I've watched people pay for other people to get an Uber ride home, something. So if you can make it down here, you will get a ride home. It's just that type of place. It's what it is. But we don't have phone lists. Hence, We'll Work for Recovery. Come on down and check it out yourself. But what I was getting at was they made an announcement about, is anyone willing to sponsor? Well, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but it's not really a sponsorship type of spot. So if anything, it's more or less like, is anyone willing to be a contact for someone? You know, if you're struggling or you need someone to talk to, someone that they could reach out to. And the request came in here from Rambo. She came in, Barbie, EJ came in and asked if I'd make some announcement. If there's any women out there with longer term recovery or some women that'd be willing to get a little more involved, because there's not really that many women with longer term recovery that come down here as of now. So talk to your girls out there, talk to your sisters and your recovery powerhouse women. Come on down, check it out. Help out the newcomer. I know I was taught, like, working with another alcoholic, what helps keeps me clean. So, all right, remember that. Enough of me. Who are you guys? Hey, welcome back to the show. Who are you, young lady?
Misty.
Misty, welcome to the show. Sir?
Rick.
Rick, welcome back to the show. I've missed you guys. This where you tell me you've missed me too.
We missed you too.
Thank you. Rick wasn't going to say it. No.
He waited
He said,
for a
I don't
while.
lie.
I forgot who you were.
He did message me. It was something funny. I can't look, but it was something on those long lines. Like, hey, who is this? You're in my phone book. Who is it? So Rick and Misty Rick's been a guest on my show since basically day one. 3+ years ago, when Tad had the idea to have this show, we started it, and he said, we got to get Rick on the show. And I'd heard you speak a few different times, and I agreed. And we strong-armed him to come in, and him and another gentleman came in, and we just started talking. Whatever month we were in, we started talking about that step or that tradition. And I don't know how it formed, but that's what it became. They'd come in, and every month we returning guests. You know, if you're on the show or you listen to the show, you know who Rick is because of these shows. So I did take those 6 weeks off of the show, which we're going to do every year now. And if I get my crap together, I'll have a co-host who can fill in or whatever. But we're going to get the ball rolling again and back in order with where we're at. We missed a few steps. I think the last one was 5 that we did. So we've missed 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I see you got your books. They got their books. I got my little red book, which is camouflage. So what I'm going to do real quick is just let you guys know what steps we missed. I'll just read them to you and then tell you where we're at now. So the last one we did was admitted to God and to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. And then we also missed that we were entirely, step 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of characters. 7 was we humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8 was that we made a list of all persons that we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Number 9 was that we made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. And now we are at step 10.
You mean wherever possible?
Wherever. What did I say? Whenever? I meant wherever. I apologize. I know you guys just lost camera, but that's okay. You can still hear us. Camera will be back in just a moment. So with that, how do you want to start with 10?
Well, maybe we should read
Sounds good.
out of the big book,
All right.
The big book.
the Alcoholics Anonymous book.
Rick's this big book. Alcoholics Anonymous big book. What page are we starting at, kiddos?
Well, it would be on page 84,
84. Okay.
just past the promises.
All right, page 84. And I switch cameras to this one that you guys are looking at Rick on now, and I'll adjust as we go.
Maybe we should back up and read the promises.
Whatever you think. Yeah, I think that is.
Page 83.
Yep.
Right at the bottom of the page.
If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the words serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
There you go. So the majority of these promises will come true just by going out and trying to help others.
Service work.
Doing service work. That's right. Go out to the prison. When I'm driving back from there, after putting on a meeting, I feel all this, almost everything. It's incredible how that in itself brings that about. But then it says this thought brings us to step 10. What thought? They will always materialize if we work for them.
Okay, keep going. All right, no, we have a question here. And it's opening a can of worms. I know this when we asked this. You mentioned service work, working with another alcoholic or an addict, we're at whatever you're at. And you said that you get these feelings and these promises will materialize if you just get into some service work. A lot of these will. Is there some type of time that you put on when someone could start working with another alcoholic?
No. Bill Wilson was right out of the hospital bed, and Dr. Silkworth, he was asking Dr. Silkworth if he could work with other alcoholics who were in the hospital there. because he had a bright light spiritual experience while he was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to talk to another alcoholic. And Silkworth let him go around on a unit and do that. And he saw the value in trying to help somebody else for himself.
And he was just out of a hospital bed.
And he was just out of a hospital bed, you know, and luckily Bill didn't do what many people in our fellowship have a tendency to say, that you have to be sober a certain amount of time or that. Well, if that would have been the case, Bill may not have stayed sober and we might not be here.
Perfect. And it doesn't say it anywhere in the book about time when you.
No.
Thank you.
No, it doesn't.
Because Rick is really, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. From what I've observed, Rick seems to have been a type of guy who's not book driven, but you read what's in there and you basically abide by what's been told to us through this book.
I've read a lot of the history of AA, not just from the AA stuff. Like there's a couple of books. One's called Pass It On. It's a story of Bill Wilson. And then another one is called Dr. Bob and the Good Old Timers. And that one's a lot of fun because they were involved in all kinds of seances and all kinds of spiritualistic stuff during that early months of sobriety in Akron. Bill was out of New York. But those books, I've read other books about AA too that were written by people who were not connected to the fellowship.
Right.
Because you're going to get a little different feel from people who are involved in the fellowship than you will with an outsider looking in. So it's helpful to read some of the other books about AA. One was called Not God.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name, Ernest something. I can't think of his name now. But that's kind of a different sort of book. There was another, there was one that was quite harsh. It was called The Real AA.
The Real Way AA.
No, The Real AA.
The Real AA.
It was a guy named Ken Raggy. The book is out of print. You might find a used copy somewhere. But it was harsh. It was an attack on Alcoholics Anonymous. The guy had a lot of respect for the service structure of AA and what Bill put together, you know, with the traditions and that sort of thing. But he got caught, and I think he was out in California, and he got caught with some of that sponsorship stuff where they're telling people what to do and how long you got to be sober to do this or that or whatever. And I think he saw what I've seen in it too, is that it isn't particularly attractive.
Yeah.
You know, you're telling instead of sharing and that sort of thing. And he got caught, I think, in some of that. And he wrote a very critical book. And when I read it, he was attacking my pet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I didn't like it at first, and I was fairly new in the program. And I thought, after I read it, I thought, you know, this is good because now you get a dose of what it looks like on the other side when people come in to AA and people are acting that way.
Right.
So it made me a better member in the long run. But I didn't like it at first.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'd recommend, if you're sober a while, read it. If you
just for a better perspective of seeing the other side. Yeah.
Well, seeing the criticisms. You know, Bill Wilson used to say that listen to your critics. They'll tell you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your friends won't.
No.
Your friends will kill you.
Yeah.
They won't be straight with you. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Generally, not always. These are generalizations,
right.
But generally speaking, your friends won't. They don't want to.
They don't want to hurt your feelings
or whatever. You know. I'm not of that mind.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah.
No. But I don't know. I've had some of the old timers that I'd rather hurt you than watch you die, type of a view on things.
And I don't think you have to be mean to people. I mean, and you don't have to tell them what's wrong with them. You know, my sponsor never did that. In fact, he said to me one time, on many occasions, he said, I never saw anything but good in you.
That's because he was good.
Well, he wasn't looking for what was wrong. He was looking for the truth. And him and I were an awful lot alike as we got to know each other over the years. And you could match our lives right down the line, only he was 25 years ahead of me, older than me.
That's awesome.
And it was a great experience. And when I was doing a Zoom meeting in Ukraine about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we were talking about the sixth step, and they were talking about character defects. And I just happened to mention to this woman who was interpreting it, I said, my sponsor told me many times, he said, I never saw anything but good in you. And I said to him one time, I says, well, ask around. You can get a different perspective, you know. But no, he meant that too. And, you know, I got to tell you, with him, I saw the same thing with him.
So it wasn't, you didn't see that as a disservice that he wasn't seeing anything. Well, how am I trying to ask this? Because we grow through, I don't know. Forget it, I even said that.
Here's what the interpreter said to me. She said, that's not what we do here in Ukraine. She says, we look for our sponsees' character defects and then try and help them.
Fix them.
Fix them, in a sense.
Fix them. Yeah.
Not so much fix them, but help them with it, I think the way she meant it. But I said, that's not spiritual healing. That's judgment. Now, this caught her. As she was caught with this. This bothered her. I said, that's judgment. Spiritual healing is overlooking error, not focusing on another person's error. You see? Now, this bothers people because they want to look at their sponsee's character defects, but all you're doing is looking through your own when you're seeing that. Okay. Now, I'll tell you why it isn't, and I can give you a perfect example of why it's not healing to do that. Spiritual healing is overlooking the error. You want to connect with the person at a mind level at the truth of who they are, not the falsity.
Okay.
Not their ego, but their spirit. The form is their ego. The spirit is the energy behind the form.
All right.
That's Joseph just naturally did that. And I did it with him naturally too. We naturally did that with each other.
Just how it was.
It's just the way it was. And I mean, years and years of it. And I was shocked when somebody came in who I brought in to have meditate, and she didn't like him. She got pissed at him. And I thought, why don't you like him? I couldn't understand because I didn't see him the way she saw him.
Right.
And I mean, I had a lot of experience with him. We just connected at a completely different level than most people do with each other. We were made for each other.
Yeah.
We really were.
Soulmates.
So now why do I say that that's spiritual healing? Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of why it's true. And everybody that has gone to an AA conference has heard speakers say things like, when I went to my first AA meeting, I felt like I was home.
Mm-hmm.
I felt accepted. I felt loved. I felt everywhere else in his life, people are pissed at him. And he's judged mercilessly for what he's been doing, the way he's been acting. And he walks into that AA room and we just want him there. Nobody else wants him anywhere, but we want him there. You know what it is? We forgot to judge him. We forgot to judge him.
Truth, what you're saying.
No, and in that moment, he was healed. And he was never the same after that. In that moment, he was healed. We didn't look for what was wrong with him and try and fix him. We all just wanted him there and wanted to help him. That's spiritual healing. And you'll hear it constantly from the podium at conferences. Speakers will always say that when they went to their first AA meeting.
I was home.
Generally speaking. I'm not saying
I've heard it tons.
Yeah.
I've heard it tons.
Yeah. And that's why. Give us a few weeks with them, and then we start judging them.
Yeah.
See? And then you lose the healing. See? And you really do. And there are groups based in that kind of stuff.
Have you seen that all throughout? Have you seen that from when you walked in all those years ago? Like, it just seems to be continuing that way.
What way?
How it's genuinely when people share about that. When I got here, I felt at home. Well, a few weeks later, we started judging them.
Yeah. Yeah. We start looking for their character defects, or they ask you to sponsor them. So you think that, well, I'm a sponsor now, I'm supposed to fix them.
And
No, your
that's
job is to overlook his error,
there you go.
not focus on his error, in my opinion. It's my
Well,
opinion of it.
your opinion though, but you base a lot of this out. I've been to Rick does a 4-step workshop. Misty's there and they do it down at 2218 Wednesdays at 6:30.
Right.
And anyone's welcome to come. Doesn't matter where you're at, where they're at, and it's rotating 8
Or
weeks.
what fellowship.
Yeah,
You know, it doesn't
whatever.
matter.
But time and time again, like just he's based right out of the book. So if he's saying something, it doesn't say anywhere in there we're supposed to fix our sponsees.
No, we're talking about ourselves. We're not telling you what you should do. We're sharing what we did because that's the way the Alcoholics Anonymous book is written.
Yes, you can sit in.
It's written from the standpoint of what they did to recover, not what they think you should do.
Right.
None of it's theory. It's all based in experience. See, so when we're talking there, we're not trying to tell them. In fact, we get questions. I get once in a while where somebody will say, "Well, what should I do about this?" Or how do you forgive this? Or I don't have any answers. I have no answers. I am showing them the mechanics of the process in the big book for God to help them. I don't want to get into looking at my sponsees and what's wrong with them. You know why? If I do, all my errors come alive.
You've had a story about that with theft.
We'll talk about that tonight because we're going to get into some of this in this 10 step.
I always open such can of worms because this is the problem about knowing my guests is, and I like to put a highlight on this with you. And I know that not a point of contention, but you've shared about it before is how you've seen this fellowship and not arguments, but you've seen this time and time again that how for some reason this fellowship's turned to that with the sponsorship, sponsee relationship.
Right.
And how this view of all of a sudden has become what it has, and it's not what's in the book.
Well, it's like the sponsee is down here and the sponsor's up here. And the sponsor is going to give something to the guy down here and bring him up. Well, I can tell you because I sponsored enough people that it's really the opposite. People are out there waiting for you. And you'll notice that when you're new in the program, nobody's coming to you. But as you start to deal with some of your stuff and you share it in meetings, all of a sudden people start coming to you. Why? Because you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're coming into your life so that you can teach them what you need to learn. No, they may need to learn it too, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is you're actually teaching what you need to learn. And the more you share it, the more you strengthen it in yourself. And you actually heal through that process. But just start to get into judgment with them and see how you feel.
Like shit.
That's right.
Well, and that's the other thing too. It's I go to a men's meeting, and it makes me think of this. Is a guy named Dave said this when someone else brought it to the group, and I'm having this issue with my sponsee.
Sure.
Going on and on about this issue with the sponsee, and Dave let him vent it out. And Dave said after, "Did you stay sober? All right, well, it's working then. You're not there to fix them." Because the guy's over here asking, well, how do I get him to do this? Or how do I get him to, you're not there to, yeah. Did you stay so, like you said?
I never chase them. They either chase me and they want to do it, or I don't,
right.
It's not I will not chase somebody.
No.
I used to do that crap. It doesn't help. You push them right away a lot of times with that stuff. It's not helpful.
Right. Yeah. And it's step 10 stuff. We're getting into it.
Yeah. So
you want to introduce yourself real quick? We got someone sitting in to watch tonight. Who are you?
My name is Pete. I'm in recovery.
Welcome to the show. This is Rick and this is Misty, and we're going to be talking about set. Don't burn yourself, Misty.
It's so hot.
All right. Let's get after it. And if you just joining us, we are on page 84.
Right in the middle of the book where it says, this thought brings us to step 10.
Which suggests we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commence this way of living as we clean up the past. We have entered the world of the spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code.
Okay. It says in here, continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Those are ideas out of the fourth step, out of the fourth column in the fourth step. It says when these crop up. It doesn't say if these crop up.
Says when.
Yeah, they are going to crop up. Okay. And when they do, so your ego is always there. It's always there just waiting for you. We ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately when you've made a mistake and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. But this is great. He says, then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. We resolutely do that. Love and tolerance of others is our code. So I remember, we've got a locker at the club, and there's a combination on our locker for Squad 77. That's on Thursday nights at 8.
Where at?
2218. It's in
Okay.
the auditorium. And it's an open meeting, so you can come. We don't care if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever.
Yep.
Humaholic. Most of us are just humaholics. We're addicted to our humanness.
Yep.
But somebody was teaching a new guy to take over the
Trust it.
job of trusted servant.
Okay.
We call them twisted servants. Yeah. And he gives them the thing and he says, well, what's the code? And the other guy says, love and tolerance. Isn't that what we just read?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the code. That's
Love
the
and
answer.
tolerance of others is our code.
That's our answer.
That was the combination. So anyway, that's a joke, Casey.
Haha. Did you get it?
About 2 a.m, it'll hit you, it'll come.
He was looking for the combination and said, what's the code? Well, instead of giving him the digits, he said love and tolerance. That is
Right.
our code here. There we go.
Perfect.
I was trying to get you the white light on there. It's supposed to turn white, but whatever. It's not.
Yeah, that's I can't believe my eyes are.
I see what you know what? Here, want to
Oh, that's okay.
switch on the right.
This works good
Here,
too.
watch this. Here you go. Boom.
Whoa.
Welcome home.
Don't need that. Okay. And we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol.
Isn't that something? Are
Even
we still fighting anything and everyone? Of course.
For by this time sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally, and we find that this has happened automatically. When we see that our new
We will see.
we will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We are not fighting, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we had been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. We have not even sworn off. Instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition.
Is that
a lot
true
of
for you?
promises.
Is that true for you? Has it been?
Yes. I think like for me, there's times where my ego grows back and I let it and I quit working the day-to-day stuff. And that is probably the worst times in my life where things start going wrong. I
Mm.
start lying. I
Do you
don't
ever get thirsty anymore?
when just recently I did when my dog died. When my dogs died.
And
he
he
got
got
hit-
been through all the craziness.
Yeah,
Well, he got hit what?
by a car. Yeah, he like got a yeah. So that night, well, Rick was over, but I just wanted to. That was the first time I ever thought about drinking. Like I just wanted to get alcohol and just numb myself. And I hadn't thought of that since for 6 years. I've never thought about alcohol, but I just wanted something to not feel like myself. And then I kept thinking like we still had to bring his body in the next day to the vet. Like I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff if I was like right away the insanity is like I just want immediate relief. And I had to work through that.
But
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, that
sucks.
sucks.
It sucks so much. Dogs are whatever. All right. Yeah,
So,
that sucks.
instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist for us.
So life still shows up. What I want you guys to hear this real quick is like you just heard life still shows up. That's like real traumatic. And the thought you're not cured. Still popped in your brain.
Yeah, I was shocked that it was there how quickly it came. And I knew I wasn't going to, but just having that thought quickly pop in after 6 years.
Not funny, but the part you're like, well, shit, though, I got to deal with this, and
Yeah.
I can't do that if I'm drinking, and
Yeah, because I know what that life involves.
Right, it turned into a fucking mess.
Yeah.
So we are neither cocky nor are we afraid.
He wants to move on.
Yeah, it's easier to do that. We're not, but wait, Rick, a lot of these things that we just read in that last paragraph, does that come true for you too? Because there was a lot of things, a lot of promises. It sounded like promises that came out that they just shared about.
Yeah. See, my experience with all this is it was removed from me early on.
That's right. That's right.
And it's never been an issue.
3-word sentence in here with the exclamation after it just comes.
Yeah.
That's what happened for Rick. If you guys have heard his story.
But it
before.
happened when before I'd worked any steps or anything.
Right.
I had a profound spiritual
yeah.
experience that took away the compulsion.
And mine came from working the steps, and it took some time, but I
Right.
kept coming back. I kept working the steps, and eventually it was one day I just felt good and that like relief.
It just came.
It just came. Exactly.
So I have a question for you, Rick, about this, and I don't want to dwell on this. We're going to move past it. In this last, you're like at what, 35, 40 years now?
38.
38 years without a cocktail or a drug. Has something happened traumatic in your life where a thought came about? Like, oh, hang on, I got to get this on you. What was that answer? Nothing that has in 38 years. I imagine there's been some heavy shit that's popped up in your life. It just has, and nothing that you're like, well, a snort, a poke, a drink would take it away. That wasn't a thought ever. You know, hang on a sec. I don't do this much in Rick's on the show. It's going to be loud. Oh, you could probably hear it. That was the audience.
I was
clapping.
done. You know, when you're done, you're done.
See, I don't know.
I don't see value in that anymore.
But like she shared, like it just
it just
happened.
came.
But something happened, and the thought, because I don't know, I don't ever fixate on it, but there has been times where not booze, but drugs, the thought has came, but there's no obsession behind the thought.
Yeah.
There's
that
no
makes
feeling behind it.
That's obsession. Yeah, there is none. There's no. It'll happen, bro. You just heard her, right? It just came. But what if you heard her? She also said, "I just kept coming back. I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it."
Well, it's like they used to say years ago. There's no problem that you have that a drink won't make worse.
Right.
My mom's on the program, and I heard her say that my whole life.
And for me,
You're
I
gonna wake up with that same problem, even worse.
it's been 6 years since I've had any drugs or alcohol. And that thought of once I start going down that road, everything that comes with it is not worth it. Like that's the thought that made me like,
I
okay.
get it disgusting. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
When I think about it, I'm like
not waking up, not
yeah,
going to
yeah,
work.
I get this disgust. Just ugh.
What did I forget?
Yeah. I don't know if I've had this obsession's been gone. I don't know when that happened for me. But Rick has he had a bright light experience in a jail cell, wasn't it?
No,
In this
Oh,
treatment.
in a hospital. That's right. Yeah.
3 weeks sober.
Can you share just 5 minutes of it? Just for people.
Well, I was done. You know, I couldn't take another bite of my life. I said, I'll do anything. I'm not living like this anymore. I've had it. Old timers used to say to me when I came out of that treatment center, I'm at 2218, and I grew up with the second generation of old timers. These are the guys who sobered up in the 50s and then the 60s. And I came in 87. So they were 20, 30 years, 40 years sober,
Right.
Some of them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I used to say, I'm done. It's over. They'd say, you shouldn't talk that way. It's a day at a time. Now, I would never say it to them because I respected them.
Right.
Okay. But I was thinking when they'd say that, I'd think, well, maybe it's not over for you.
Right.
But it's over for me.
You just knew.
The party was over.
Yeah.
You know how you know when the party's over?
You
I
just
don't know.
You just know.
I don't know how you'll know, but if you don't know, then it's
It's
not over.
not over.
You know? But you just know when you're done.
And on it, I think for me, what you just said that these old timers were saying to you, I think I let a lot of that get in my head, and it filled me with fear to sit and talk that way. But like somewhere deep down, like I know I'm not going to do heroin no more. I know I'm not. I'm done. I'm done. It's been whatever, and I'm done. But I had this fear of saying that out loud because, well, these guys told me like, no, it might not be. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I like that. You know how you'll know? I don't know.
You'll know. When you know, you know.
Yeah.
That's all. And it's gone. It's just been gone. I'm not cocky, nor am I afraid. Now here's a point. He says, that is our experience. That is how long we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. So there's a
Caveat there.
there's a caveat there.
As long as we stay in fit spiritual condition.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Watch for resentment. Here's what he
Selfishness.
said it on the other page. Continue to watch for selfishness. That's the big one. Selfishness,
Yeah.
dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. I don't want this. Take it away.
Instantly. You do it right away.
Yeah, I've never, I've had times in my recovery where I've been in conflict and pain and had problems,
Mm-hmm.
but my mind never went to booze or drugs. You know why? Doesn't have any value. There's no value in that world. There's nothing but pain in that world for me. I got to such a bottom that I never considered looking back. It's over.
Right.
That ship has sailed.
You've been beat down enough.
Yeah, I'm not going back there. And I will do whatever I have to do. That is how we react as long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. Was that watch for resentment? The selfishness is the big one. And that'll pop up in all kinds of ways. It certainly comes up in relationships with women and men and this sort of thing,
Mhm.
jobs, circumstances, events where you want what you want and you're trying to push your will into it, force something,
over.
And you'll get in trouble and you'll start to build the resentments and have the fear. And then if it's more painful to be sober than it is to be drunk, you're going to drink.
Yep.
There's a story of Fred in the Big Book who put whiskey in his milk.
Yep.
Okay. And if you read the story, he had a conflict. Before he was out on that business deal, he was going to do some business out of town, and he stops into a restaurant and he orders a sandwich and milk. And then he has a thought that what if I put whiskey in my milk? Now he didn't even think twice about this. He just thought, well, that wouldn't hurt me.
Yeah.
Yet he knew that that's BS, but why did he do that? If you read the story, he had a conflict. He had a resentment before he went on that trip. And that resentment was eating his lunch. And he wanted to drink because of it. He was uncomfortable. and he knew alcohol would change how he felt. So if it's more painful to be sober than it is to be drunk, you're going to drink or you're going to do some dope. Just the way it is. That's why people all of a sudden just use, they don't even know how it happened. All of a sudden they're just struck drunk or high.
It just happened.
Yeah, just happened. They didn't watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. They let their mind take them on a trip. That's what he's talking about here.
Program of action, boys.
It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action, and rest on our laurels.
It really isn't. It's not easy to do that. It's painful to do that. But he understood. Bill was very flawed, and he had lots of problems, with depression. Yeah. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels.
We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done.
That's stuff that came out of the Oxford groups. That was one of the things. Thy will, not mine. Your will, God's will, not mine, be done. Yeah. How can I best serve you?
These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It is the proper use of the will.
See, so he's not saying that you should fight your will. This is the thing. I see people do that in the program where they come in and they fight with themselves. They try and force themselves to be good. I'll be good. I don't want to be good, but I'll try and be good because they think that's what AA is about, being good. No, AA is about looking for the selfishness and dropping that. And if you'll do that, you'll just be good. But I've seen people who thought they were good and they were causing all kinds of damage in their lives with other people. Around the fellowship, you'll see guys like this, very controlling, very manipulating. Oh, it's all in the name of sponsorship and being helpful. Of course, it's, as Jesse would put it, unsolicited helpfulness. Nobody asked for the help. They're just going to ram it down their throats. See, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why good guys really have a problem around AA. I don't have that problem because I'm not a good guy. No, I mean that. I've never thought of myself as good. Now I've done these workshops over the years. Bob and I did them for 25 years together, probably. And he was a good guy. He thought of himself as a good guy, and he was a decent guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not taking that away from him, but he thought of himself as a good guy. Now, a good guy is never going to inventory himself because he doesn't really need it. You need it, but he doesn't, because he's good. Now, I'm not a good guy. I never thought of myself as good. I was 5 years old, and I knew if I did something for you, I wanted something. This was not news to me. I've been this way all my life. I've had a sense that I knew what I was like. And I wasn't trying to be good. I always felt if I was going to be good, I'd have to lose something. Got to lose something to be good. I wasn't interested in being good. I was interested in getting what I wanted. And I knew this about myself. So when I would bump into a conflict with someone later on in my life, because I knew this about myself, I knew I had some culpability in it. Okay. Whereas a good guy can't see that as readily. Why? Because if there's a problem and you think you're good and you got good motives, guess what? If there's a conflict, it's got to be the other person.
Can't be me.
Can't be me. It's got to be you. Well, I didn't have this problem. See, Bob had that problem, and Jesse that I do these workshops with, he has that too, you know. So we're very contrasting in the sense of our personalities. But this has really served me quite well because I knew I was like this. Now, what happens if you're a good guy? You can't see it. So a good guy has got to back out his good guy stuff to even see that he's self-serving because he can't see it. He's self-serving, but he can't see it. That's a problem. So he's got to be honest with himself to a point where he can start to see that he's actually manipulative with his good guy stuff, you know. You know, you meet the girl, he takes, oh, she's got kids, you know. So he plays with the kids and takes them to the park and all that. And all he's really trying to do, and he talks this way about it. It's not me talking this way. What he really wanted was get in the bedroom with her, you know? And it was a way of doing it. Or maybe she had cats, or maybe she, you know, animals, things like that, that he didn't even really like, you know, because he's a farm boy.
Right.
You know, he looks at them as indoor livestock, you know? Well, I mean, these are his words. They're not my words about this. See, so he can't see that he's self-serving and that he's playing a game. I knew when I was doing that shit, I was playing.
Right. Right.
I knew that about myself. It wasn't news to me.
I see what you're saying about that. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at self when you're saying this, and like, yeah, I knew I was a shithead. Like, I knew I was a scammer, and if I was doing something, it was because I was gonna get something.
Right.
That's right.
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 And I do know certain guys that just, I guess I can't speak for them, but watching them, like, I put them on some pedestal.
They're unaware.
Yeah.
They're unaware.
Yeah.
I had that awareness. Now, this is not particularly a good thing. That you're that way, like what you just
No, and I
described.
used to co-sign my actions by saying, "Well, I know I'm an asshole, anyways," or you know.
Well, but what I'm trying to get at here is that knowing that does not mean I'm ahead of Jesse. You see, I knew that I was like that, and I didn't care. I knew I was taking advantage of people, and I didn't give a shit.
Right.
Now, that is not good. That almost looks like you're a sociopath, like you have no sense of others.
Right.
But it isn't, because I knew I was like that. It wasn't like I didn't even know I was
Right.
taking
knew.
advantage. I knew what I was doing.
Mhm.
Whereas Jesse, what he had to do, and Bob, is they would cover it up because they didn't want to be like that. So they would cover it. And after years of covering it, you don't even know you're doing it.
It's just
Okay.
the new normal.
It's just what you're doing.
Right.
See? But it doesn't make him any better, certainly, or any worse. But I think it's really bad when a guy's like this and he doesn't care. That is not something I'm proud of. But it's true. It's the way I was. So when I got sober, I had to look at this stuff, and I had to start to show up different and act different and do things in a different way. Not because I was trying to be good, because I got sick of hurting myself. I got to tell you, this is not about being good. This is about looking for the selfishness and dropping that. And when you drop your selfishness, you'll just be good.
Hmm.
But I've seen some people, I mean, I've seen ministers, I've seen people, I'm serious, you know, who thought they were good, and they were very mean in many ways and aggressive with their so-called goodness, trying to force people to be a certain way. You've seen them, you know? Yeah.
People get upset if they don't see it the way I see it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they're mad.
Yeah.
I see that in a lot of things in the world. You see that when you turn on the news. You see that out in the world. I see that a lot. And for me, I will stand on this as I don't know if I used to do that, but I see that being an issue that I'm not okay with. I'll respect however you see something. I'm okay with that. And I see a problem with it when I watch someone get upset with someone else for not seeing it the way they see it.
Right. And I used to be like that. I used to be like that a lot. with people. I'd
I
fight
do,
with
yeah.
them, and I'd just be a pain. I went back after I got sober and talked to a friend of mine's mother, and we would fight all the time. We'd argue about, and it was, we were friends. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it was, like we hated each other. And she brought it up to me after I was sober. She said, "Do you remember that we used to fight we'd argue about all this stuff?" I said, I never knew I was wrong.
Huh.
I had no awareness that other people saw things different than I did. I couldn't understand that you could have a different position on something and not have to be wrong. Somebody had to be right and somebody had to be wrong. And that's the way I looked at it,
I guess I've never self-examined. I'm looking back on it while you're saying this, like I do every time you share about something, because you enlighten me to think about stuff. But I just, in my head, and I'm looking back on it, they're dumb. They don't know what I just would tell myself they're not up to par yet. They're not up to speed yet. There's some mental deficiency. They're stupid. They don't see it the right way. I was blessed with knowing it the way it should be seen, even though I was making poor choices. But I don't know when maybe it was when.
How could you make a poor choice if you knew all that?
And I don't know where that took place, where my thought changed from what I just shared about. Like, I'm okay with you if you don't see it the way I see it.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that took place and changed for me, but forever, that's all I saw is these guys, they're just stupid. They're kind of broken. They'll catch up eventually. I put myself on some God complex of something like that. You know what I mean? Like I had it figured out.
Right.
Just stupid. Whatever it was. And now I really do. It comes with politics a lot for me. I hear people with their views on it, and it's okay. You don't see how I see it.
Mhm.
But where I see the big breakdown and problem, I think in society too, is people getting upset with A, B, or C for not seeing it how I view things. I'm okay with you if you see it a different way. Whatever. You feel abortion this way or that way, I don't care. But don't be mad at me because I don't see it how you see it. I don't know where that changed for me. Because
Mhm.
I didn't used to.
Well, it probably came gradually. It's like an educational variety.
It just comes.
It just comes.
Yeah.
3 strong words. Someone wrote in, working the steps with another brings the spiritual experience to stay on the right path in recovery. For many like myself, there was no big spiritual moment, and the obsession still lifted.
Right.
Working with someone else.
Right.
Thank you, Bridge. We love you.
So, thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. Right above that, it said, every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all our activities. That's what he's talking about. How can I best serve you? I'll take the these and thous out. Your will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. Do they go with me constantly? Well, more than before. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It is the proper use of the will. So it's not about fighting your will and trying to be good. It's about redirecting your will, because what you fight, you give energy and power to. The more you fight it, the more you empower it. So what if you redirect it instead of fight yourself?
How do you redirect it?
Go out to the prison and put on a meeting.
Love it.
Go down to the
Service
mission
work.
and put on a meeting.
Okay.
Make a commitment, not go with somebody else's commitment. That's
Right.
different.
Right.
Make your own commitment.
Right.
There's plenty of treatment centers, there's
Yes, there is.
opportunities. Most people want to ride on somebody else's coattails on it, and you can get some value out of that. I'm not saying that's bad, but it's different when you have to be the guy who brings the meeting in. You have to start it out. You have to,
It's fulfilling too.
well, that's why you're doing
There.
Mhm.
it.
I just said it in
Mhm.
it's fulfilling too. 3 words, like it just happened. No, I'm done. My brain wasn't changed overnight. It's a thinking problem first. Drinking was the ism. Awareness and letting my conscious thoughts go. This connection with self, thine own self be true. Well, she's quoting something or telling us. No, I'm done. All right, whatever. Just thanks for interacting.
Well, it's like the self often that people are trying to make a better self. They're talking about their egos. I'm going to you don't have to esteem your spirit. Your spirit's already esteemed. Okay. It's the ego that they're trying to make better. They're trying to make a better ego.
Mhm.
But that's not what this journey is. This is about releasing the self. It's all over the big book. Release the self, and what will emerge is your true nature. You don't have to do something to be spiritual. You used to hear this stuff from the podium, at conferences. You make self-esteem by doing esteemable acts. That's building your ego. Yeah. You already have self-esteem, but the self they're trying to esteem is not who you are. You're your spirit, not your ego. That's what Joseph was saying when he said, I never saw anything but good in you. This is what he was talking about. He never really, he didn't try and do that. We were made for each other. That's what he said to me. He said it on many occasions. I was with him for 33 years before he died.
It wasn't an ego thing. It was just what it was.
Yeah. And he said it a number of times to me. It wasn't like it was just a one-off. And years later, I heard it many times from him. But he was ready for me and I was ready for him. And we came together as equals. He was 25 years older, but he never acted like he was above me. In fact, we used to fight about stuff all the time. If you're not challenging your sponsor, you're getting brainwashed.
There we go. Tell him, Rick.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Aren't you? People walking around. There used to be a guy named the Pie Guy. He used to be down at 2218, and he worked in the kitchen. And he said these people come by the opening at the kitchen, and they're walking like this, like, yes, master, I'll do everything you say, master. This is the kind of BS that goes by the name of sponsorship. It's sickening.
Yep. There's no higher.
There's no. My dad used to say, "There's no seniority in AA."
No.
There is no seniority in AA.
I'll say, as a newcomer, I used to walk in and think, "Oh, that guy they're running the meeting. He must be the boss. He must be the charge." Over time, I now know different, but I did as a new. That's what I thought. I didn't know any better.
You know what we do in Squad 77? We take the new guy and put him up there.
We stole that. No,
we're doing.
We started another fellowship meeting, and that's how we did it. When one of our guys was at your squad, we always hand the format to the newcomer.
Yeah, let him run the meeting for a while. So we did with you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like it at first.
But it did wonders.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I was super nervous and all that, but yeah, it did wonders for my recovery.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. So let's go on here. We're just about out of this.
Much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from him who has all knowledge and power.
They're not talking about your sponsor.
Yeah, that was a good one.
If we have carefully followed directions, we have begun to sense the flow of his spirit into us. To some extent, we have become God conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense, but we must go further, and that means more action.
Before you share, what if someone has a problem finding that word God?
I don't think it matters.
Come on, Rick.
It didn't. I was an atheist when I did the inventories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need. I got help in my thoughts when I wrote the 4-step inventory, and the process is designed this way. You write your story in 3 columns of what you're angry at, who you're angry at, what they did, and how you were hurt by what they did. That's the story of why my anger is justified. There becomes a 4th column where you ask for help. Okay? It says we were prepared to look at it from an entirely different angle. They don't tell you what that is. I know people make assumptions on that and they're wrong. It's not what it is.
I love Rick.
It's just not what it is. It's that we're going to ask God to reveal something. And that's what it says on the top of page 67. We ask God to help us. Doesn't say we asked our sponsor to help us. Why? Because this is a spiritual process, not a psychological process. And we're not shooting for psychology and figuring things out. We're asking to have something revealed to us when we write a fourth column and look for our selfishness, our dishonesty, where we were self-seeking and afraid.
So,
And when you write that, you're asking for help and you get thoughts. And I was an atheist when it happened to me. I got thoughts that were not of my mind. In fact, the voice that came into my mind sounded like my voice, but it said Rick.
Right.
Why would I say Rick to myself? This really disturbed me when it first happened.
especially
Man.
as an atheist, a militant atheist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was not pleasant. But the thought that came with that changed how I viewed things. I saw it from an entirely different angle. I didn't pardon my dad for being an ass and ruining my life. I saw that he didn't ruin my life. I did, and I was blaming him for what I did. I was hating him for my mistakes. Well, who are you hating when you're pouring energy into hating somebody for ruining your life?
So,
And you know somewhere in your mind you did it to yourself, but you're not acknowledging it. And then all of a sudden it gets revealed to you that, holy shit, it just opened up.
yep.
It opened everything up.
Watch this one.
Hmm.
What's your concept of God then?
I don't have one.
Love.
Look, I'm only 38 years sober. Give me a break. Give me some time, will you?
So you don't have a concept of God.
No.
I always regurgitate this, and I have for years now with Rick. He doesn't have a concept of God, but you hear what he just said, right? Some might say, well, that's a contradiction. You just read him. You just read the direction from him who has all knowledge and power. If we carefully follow direction, we have begun to sense the flow of his spirit into us. The summit, who's him? Who is his spirit?
The spirit, the energy behind the form.
Come on.
Okay.
I just like,
I can tell you in one sentence how I came to believe. I took actions I didn't believe in, and I got results I couldn't deny.
fucking love that. You heard what he said? Say that one more time, Rick. Just one more time.
I took actions I didn't believe in. I wrote inventory, and I got results I couldn't explain away. I couldn't deny the results.
I think that should be a slogan on the top of our books right there. Because that's proof for so many. If you just look at it, because I look back after you said that, and I really look at self, I didn't believe in this shit. I just, through watching someone else who's been in AA or NA, and
You know,
come
there
on.
was a Jesuit priest named Father Ed Dowling. He came into the clubhouse in 1940 in New York. He had heard about Alcoholics Anonymous and what was going on. They had just finished writing a big book and publishing it in 39. So 1940, it had just come out.
Mhm.
And he had heard, because he's a minister, he wants to help people. And alcoholism was a nightmare back then. There was no help. They were just dying from
Yeah.
it. So he wanted to go see what they were doing. And he shows up at Bill's club in the middle of the night, if I remember right, meaning, late in the evening. And I think it might have been raining that night too. And he lets him in, and there's this little guy named Father Ed who came in. And Father Ed was not an alcoholic, but he had an eating disorder. In fact, Father Ed, as time went, from what I understand, started OA. Overeaters Anonymous.
Yep.
Came out of him. But anyway, that came later. But he wanted to see what Bill was doing, see? And Father Ed said to Bill, as he got to know Bill and they shared things, and he became Bill's spiritual advisor. Okay? He had a big impact on the early AA people. For example, Chuck Chamberlain. He wrote a book called A New Pair of Glasses. Okay? Actually, it was a transcription of some talks of his. Chuck sobered up in 46. Well, he knew Father Ed real well because he wanted to. So they became good friends. And he titled his book A New Pair of Glasses because Father Ed said, the more I watch this go on, the more I can see that transformation is just a new pair of glasses. It's a new way of seeing things. So Chuck titled his book A New Pair of Glasses. That came from Father Ed Dowling, from something he had said. But Father Ed said something else to Bill. He said he really didn't believe. Now, to become a Jesuit priest, it's 16 years of schooling. Okay. And he went through that 16-year process, okay, to become a Jesuit priest. And he told Bill that he really didn't believe, even though he had all this schooling and all this learned ideas about God, and he probably knew more about God than God knew about God. You know, that's the way these guys think, you know. I sponsored a guy who was like that. He PhD and all that stuff in theology, and he was a pain, you know, arrogant as hell, you know. Ended up dying, loaded, couldn't stay sober. Yeah, imagine that. But anyway, Father Ed went through all that schooling, had learned all about God through the church and through the schools, and he said he really didn't believe. And he told Bill that he actually came to believe by watching the miracles in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, wow.
That's what he said. That's how he came to believe. After all the schooling and all, none of that meant anything. What meant was what he saw. He saw it happening, whether he could understand it, make sense out of it, didn't matter. He saw the transformation. Do you have to conceptualize God to have that experience? Nope. In fact, the more you try and conceptualize it, the harder it's going to be, because you're tying it to an idea that you can understand, and it's beyond your understanding. That's why I don't have a concept of God. That's not why. I mean, I just don't have it. Yeah, it is what it is.
And I just always, it's given me hope. I've had people share about that who've heard you on the show share about your not concept of God and say how it's given them hope. But a lot of people have there's a big hurdle for their trajectory, or however you want to call it, with this higher power thing. I've never understood.
Well, you can't understand it.
It's like,
how about you call them, it's a mystery.
Yeah.
So maybe you could call them Mr. E.
Mr. E. Mr. E. I don't know. I was a guy, I don't care what it was. I wanted this so bad, and I always share about it. I wanted this sobriety thing. I wanted it so bad. And maybe it was a personal, I just knew when I was walking into that first place to get some help, whatever they tell me I'm doing. And I've always tried to come up with some goofy joke. I'm just glad they weren't devil worshippers, because I'd have horns today. But I did. I had some mental, whatever they're going to tell me to do, I'm doing. If it was God, then I'll find God.
Unfortunately, guys like you get abused sometimes by people in the fellowship.
Early on, I saw. I'm fortunate that I was around certain people.
You're lucky.
I know. I've heard and I've seen over the last 8-9 years. Yeah. I don't know what it was. Whatever. I just knew. And over time, you hear. You always hear about fears of of making amends and this hurdle of God. It just, fortunately, I came in here, my hands and knees begging for an answer, and whatever that looked like, I'm doing. And I'm done.
I followed the material because I didn't trust the people. I just followed the AA material, I trusted them to a point. It's like, listen to them and then verify it, Just because somebody says it, including me, doesn't mean it's gospel here, Yeah.
When I like that, the story you just shared about a Jesuit priest who 2 master's degrees in theology and years of being a pastor or a priest.
And he didn't believe.
And he became a believer by watching miracles happen in the rooms of recovery.
After all that schooling and all that history, I'm telling you, this is what he said. And, there's He didn't say it because he was trying to be humble. He said it because it was true. You know?
Yeah, it's amazing stuff. I don't know. And I like your take, and I know I've time and time again, you're not the type I can put on a pedestal, but I do anyways. When you're not here and I share about certain shows and things you've said, but taking actions and things I didn't believe and got results I couldn't deny, that outlines my whole recovery. I didn't know. I can't, like I said, I just wanted to know how
No,
to stop.
we're shooting. This is not reliance on people.
No.
Yeah, you can lean on people a little bit, of course, when you're new. But
when
this,
you're new,
you got to
I
kick
had
them
to-
out of the nest.
That was what I knew when I was new. I was still coming here with a brain that was making choices to shove a needle in my arm. My brain was so.
I
couldn't
was
trust
stealing.
it.
I was stealing in my first year or less of sobriety. You know, well, that shit doesn't go away just because you get sober. You know,
Yes.
you're still a thief. You still got to deal with that stuff.
The horse
You,
thief.
you know what they used to say at the treatment center? They used to say, you got to do it for the right reasons. You got to come in here for the right reasons. That's bullshit beyond belief.
Come on.
But I mean, this is what they'd say. You have to do it for yourself. You can't do it for your family. That is such nonsense. I got sober because I wanted to get my family back.
Right. And it worked.
Yeah. You know,
I-
if you had to get your motives right before you get to AA, nobody would get here.
No.
The purpose of AA is to change your motives for why you're doing the things you're doing. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've shared about that quite a bit too. Is early recovery. That first 6 to 8 months I was in here, I wanted to do this. I couldn't do it for my mom. I couldn't do the courts. I tried, and I used to have this thought that it's not going to work for no one unless they want this. Until all of a sudden, just like the Jesuit priest, I was hearing people say, "I got 20-something years. I legal problems. Other people, I wanted my kids back. Whatever." And then I really, whatever it was, I don't. Me today, I don't care. You're here, but
I don't
anything
care
can
either.
work. Anything.
I don't care why somebody comes.
No,
If
me
they
neither.
come in, they come in.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
Or you got to get your motives right.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you'll die doing
you
that
damn
one.
right
You know?
you will. Whatever got
So
you
you hear all kinds of stuff around AA rooms that just is not realistic. Okay. And if you don't read the material and know what the program is, you won't know the BS when you hear it. See?
Mhm.
And you'll get brainwashed into all kinds of crap by well-meaning people in Alcoholics Anonymous.
My opinions could kill you.
Mm.
Boy, we don't, there was a speaker named Jim W. out of Texas. I heard him in 1988, and he was 20 years sober at the time, much like Chuck Chamberlain was, Chuck C. And he said in that talk, and I heard it done. He said, if anybody's giving you advice in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's not AA. Why? Because we don't give advice. We share our experience, strength, and know. Might be good advice, might be bad advice, but it's not AA.
It's not AA.
So, because that's not what we do. Well, look around the fellowship and you'll see all kinds of people giving people advice. Okay. It's not AA.
I used to catch myself doing it when something would work for me. I'd start telling me, "You should try. You should do it. You should." I think it was someone like Rick who he didn't inadvertently say, "Tim, what are you doing?" But he shared in a way where it was like, "Tim, what are you doing?" Something like that. But yeah, an opinion. Someone said it down the line, but yeah, no one. It's an opinion. It's no advice should
Look,
be given.
people want to say, well, this is what you should do.
Mhm.
I got no problem with somebody saying, this is what I did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And leave it to them if they want to do what you did.
Yeah.
But to tell them, stay out of relationships for a year or whatever the hell it is,
Right.
whatever the nonsense is, it's not AA.
No, and I think that was partly why early on I asked the question about that. Like, well, at what point in your recovery are you allowed to? I'm saying it the right way too. What point in my recovery am I allowed to start being of service to others?
Right out of the hospital bed.
There you go.
That's
If that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be sitting here.
right.
He ran that story at the beginning. Our founder started this out of a hospital bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still probably in the system or whatever.
How late are we going?
Ladies, you know how it is. There's no time. The vibe is going, kids. No, seriously, as long
I'd like to read you something out of the 12 and 12
hell yeah.
in step 10.
You want to? Oh yeah, let's do that too. I got a couple 12 and 12s down there. If you want one, grab one. Otherwise, well, listen, you're good. You're good. I got dropped the rock. That's what I was pointing at earlier.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
all the. I have all. I think I even have the.
Do you need a book?
I don't know which one's 12.
Oh,
I believe I have one there, or I have one up here.
I got an extra one.
I know I have a hardcover in here.
Here it is.
They stay prepared.
What step are we on?
I'm just going to touch on a few sentences. You don't have to follow this. It's things I've got underlined in here, and this is probably pretty early when I did some of this. Because I've had this 12 and 12 for a long time. In fact, I've got a phone number on it of 729-4152, and that's real old.
What is that?
612.
Oh, 612.
Yeah, that's real old.
Is that your house number?
It was a phone number that I had.
Oh.
So this is old. But he says in here, right on page 88, and it's a few paragraph. It's the second paragraph. Actually, maybe Misty, do you want to just read that first couple paragraphs?
As we work the first 9 steps, we prepare ourselves for the adventure of a new life. But when we approach step 10, we commence to put our AA way of living to practical use, day by day, in fair weather or fall. Then comes the acid test. Can we stay sober, keep an emotional balance, and live in good purpose under all conditions?
Yeah, under all conditions.
A continuous look at our assets and liabilities and a real desire to learn and grow by this means are necessities for us. We alcoholics have learned this the hard way. More experienced people, of course, in all times and places have practiced unsparing self-survey and criticism.
Of themselves, not of others.
For the wise have always known that no one can make much of his life until self-searching becomes a regular habit.
That's what I had underlined early on.
Yeah.
So self-serving becomes a habit.
Self-searching.
Mm-hmm.
Until he is able to admit and accept what he finds, and until he patiently and persistently tries to correct what is wrong. Ooh.
Now this gets good.
Oh.
Keep going.
When a drunk has a terrific hangover because he drank heavily yesterday, he cannot live well today. But there is another kind of hangover which we all experience whether we are drinking or not. That is the emotional hangover. The direct results of yesterday's and sometimes today's excesses of negative emotion, anger, fear, jealousy, and the like. If we would live serenely today and tomorrow, we certainly need to eliminate these hangovers.
I had this next sentence, couple sentences underlined.
This does not mean we need to wander morbidly around in the past. It requires an admission of and correction of errors now. Our inventory enables us to settle with the past. When this is done, we are really able to leave it behind us. When our inventory is carefully taken and we have made peace with ourselves, the conviction follows that tomorrow's challenges can be met as they come.
That's right. Keep going.
Oh. Although all inventories are alike in principle, the time factor does not distinguish
Distinguish.
Oops, sorry. Although all inventories are alike in principle, the time factor does distinguish one from another. There's the spot check inventory taken at any time of the day, whenever we find ourselves getting tangled up.
I had that one underlined because I was having trouble getting tangled up in the moments of the day.
There's the one we take at the day's end, when we review the happenings of the hours just past. Here we cast up a balance sheet, crediting ourselves with things well done and chalking up debits where due. Then are those occasions when alone.
Then there are those.
Then there are those occasions when alone or in the company of our sponsor or spiritual advisor, we make a careful review of our progress since the last time. Many AAs go in an annual or semi-annual.
Go in for an annual.
Go in for an annual or semi-annual house cleaning. Many of us also like the experience of an occasional retreat from the outside world where we can quiet down for an undisturbed day or so of self-overhaul and meditation. Hardly. The emphasis on inventory is heavy only because a great many of us have never really acquired the habit of accurate self-appraisal. Once this healthy practice has become grooved, it will be so interesting and profitable that the time it takes won't be missed. For these minutes and sometimes hours spent in self-examination are bound to make all the other hours of our day better and happier. And at length, our inventories become a regular part of everyday life, rather than something unusual or set apart.
Yeah, you just naturally do it.
Before we ask what a spot check inventory is, let's look at the kind of setting in which such an inventory can do this work. I like this next paragraph. It is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what the cause, there is something wrong with us.
I mean, there's not something wrong with somebody else? I mean, there might be something wrong with somebody else, but that's not the point. If I'm upset, there's something wrong with me.
If someone hurts us and we are sore, we are in the wrong also.
How can that be? If somebody hurts us and we are sore, we are in the wrong also. It's because you're reacting to it. There's something inside of you that's unresolved. That's why you're reactive to it. They'd talk about buttons years ago. Like somebody's pushing my buttons. Well, you have the button. That's the point.
And unresolved, that means there's something.
There's
that
a
was
grievance.
missed.
There's a grievance.
Yep.
Yeah. If somebody hurts us and we are sore, we are in the wrong also.
But are there no exceptions to this rule? What about justifiable anger? If someone cheats us, aren't we entitled to be mad? Can't we be properly angry with our self-righteous folk? For us of AA, these are dangerous exceptions. We have found that justified anger ought to be left to those better qualified to handle it.
Sounds like he sidestepped the whole issue there, didn't it? You know? But he didn't really. He's going to go into this. It's great. We'll just read a little more and I'll tell you a story about something that happened to me.
Few people have been more victimized by resentments than have we alcoholics.
No kidding.
It mattered little whether our resentments were justified or not.
All resentment is justified.
A burst of temper could spoil a day, and a well-nursed grudge could make us miserably ineffective. Nor were we ever skillful in separating justified from unjustified anger. As we saw it, our wrath was always justified.
Of course.
Anger, that occasional luxury of more balanced people, could keep us on an occasional jag.
On an emotional jag.
Or an emotional jag indefinitely. These emotional dry benders often led straight to the bottle. Other kinds of disturbances, jealousy, envy, self-pity, or hurt pride did the same thing.
See, so you can see how destructive this is for the person who's carrying it, you know?
A spot check inventory taken in the midst of such disturbances can be of very great help in quieting stormy emotions. Today's spot check finds its chief application to situations which arise in each day's march. The consideration of a long-standing difficulties have better be postponed, when possible, to times deliberately set aside for that purpose.
That would be a 4-step inventory, long-standing difficulties. That's not what this is. This is what happens in the moment.
Quick inventory is aimed at our daily ups and downs, especially those where people or new events throw us off balance and tempt us to make mistakes. In all these situations, we need self-restraint, honest analysis of what is involved, a willingness to admit when our fault is ours, and an equal willingness to forgive when the fault is elsewhere.
That's a big one.
Mm-hmm. We need not be discouraged when we fall into the error of our old ways, for these disciplines are not easy. We shall look for progress, not for perfection. Our first objective will be the development of self-restraint. This carries a top priority rating. When we speak or act hastily or rashly, the ability to be fair-minded and tolerant evaporates on the spot. One unkind tirade or one willful snap judgment can ruin our relation with another person for a whole day or maybe a whole year. Nothing pays off like restraint of tongue and pen. We must avoid quick-tempered criticism and furious, power-driven argument. The same goes for sulking or silent scorn. These are emotional booby traps baited with pride and vengefulness. Our first job is to sidestep the traps. When we are tempted by the bait, we should train ourselves to step back and think. For we can neither think nor act to good purpose until the habit of self-restraint has become automatic.
Here, let's stop there because there's a lot in here. This is really great material, 12 and 12. Bill wrote that. That book was written about 13 years after the big book was published. So they had 13 years of experience. The big book was written by the first 100 people, primarily Bill. And the 12 and 12 was written entirely by Bill. These are essays on Bill's experiences with the steps, and he was introducing the traditions to the fellowship when this was brought out. That was the purpose of this book, to get the traditions out into the fellowship, and people didn't like hearing about the traditions. They wanted to hear about the steps. But Bill knew that him and Bob were not going to be alive forever, so they had to do something to make the fellowship be able to stand on its own feet. So they were backing away from the power.
Insurance or
Well, and it worked.
longevity.
And it worked. But the point of this, where he says it is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what seems to be the cause, there's something wrong with us.
The self.
And I always thought there was something wrong with other people because that seemed to be where the disturbance was coming from. So I've got a bunch of AA people with me. I'm about 2 months sober, maybe not even that. And we're moving my antique plumbing fixture store from one location in downtown Minneapolis to another one on Washington
Not an
Avenue.
easy job if you know about plumbing.
Oh,
You
everything's
had
heavy.
antique stuff.
Yeah, oh, it was all
Hot
clawfoot
tubs.
bathtubs,
Oh,
radiators for houses. Everything was heavy,
Yes.
you know. And you'd back in semi-trailers and move this stuff, you know. I mean, this is a nightmare. This is costly, and I moved it 3 times when I was using. Twice when I was using, once in sobriety when I first got sober. So now I'm sober, and I'm not working the steps because none of them look reasonable. The only step that looked reasonable was the 10th step because it said nothing about God. I could continue to take my personal
Remember, Milliken
inventory and admit when I was wrong,
Right.
but I was never wrong. So it was a problem. Okay. So we go in on Washington Avenue and 4th Avenue. There's a bar called the Mill Inn. It used to be called the Mill Inn. Now it's called something else. Okay. And I was moving right next door to the bar. And we unloaded the truck and we were going to go into the restaurant or the bar restaurant and eat. I've got 3 or 4 guys helping me move. So I'm buying lunch. Okay. I don't have a lot of money. These guys are doing this out of the kindness of their heart. But I'm going to buy them lunch. So we go in, we eat, and they go outside after we eat. I think there were 3 of them, and this old man named A.C. Garrison, he was with us. He was a character. He was an older guy, probably in his 70s at the time. But they're out in the street. This is summertime, and they're smoking. I go up and I hand the bartender a $100 bill. That's when a $100 bill meant something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could, and he hands me back change and I grab it in the hand. I already got money in. Now, one of the problems when you're new and you haven't resolved anything through inventory is you have a lot of chaos in your mind, a lot of stress, lots of buttons that get pushed by other people. You're reactive to things. See, and that's the way I was. That's the way I was. So I turn around, I start walking out of the bar and I'm counting the money and I'm confused. But I grabbed it in a hand that already had some money in it. And I wasn't sure what he gave me and what he didn't. But as I started to look at it, I thought, this guy just cheated me out of $20. And I actually got outside of the bar when I realized that, and I'm rageful. I go from 0 to 120 in a half a second, man. Nothing pisses a thief off more than somebody stealing from him.
100%.
Okay. And now I've been a thief all my life. This guy just ripped me off for $20. And I'm rageful. I mean, I just go crazy. And I don't talk to my buddies. I just turn around. I go back into the bar and I'm pissed. And I said, now the place is full of people. This is lunchtime. And this is kind of a nice bar for lunch. These are professional people in there. And I go up to the bartender and I says, hey, bartender, and I did it loud like that. I said, you cheated me out of $20. He said, no, I didn't. I said, yeah, you did. And then I went off on him, man. And I started calling them names. And I did this loud in front of everybody, man. I made a big scene. And then I turned around and I stormed out of the bar. And I felt like somebody was setting concrete blocks on my head as I walked out of there. It felt heavy. And remember what Bill said here. He says, when a drunk, here, he says it.
84.
He says, when a drunk has a terrific hangover because he drank heavily yesterday, he cannot live well today. But there is another kind of hangover which we all experience, whether we are drinking or not. That is the emotional hangover, the direct result of yesterday's and sometimes today's excesses of negative emotion, anger, fear, jealousy, and the like. Oh, yeah. See, now all of a sudden, I think this guy ripped me off. So I just went crazy. Then I get outside and my buddies, I come walking out. I'm really uptight, man. And they could see something happen. They looked at me like, what the hell happened to you? And I started to tell them what happened. This guy cheated me out of some money. And one of the guys gave me some information. I don't remember if I gave him a 20 earlier or something, borrowed him. I can't remember what it was, but I clearly was wrong. I'm clearly wrong. And the thought that came into my mind was the 10th step. Continued to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. That came into my mind. And I thought, I don't want to do that. Last thing I want to do is go back in that bar. I just made a huge scene in there, man. And I don't want to do it. And as I'm turning around, I get this thought. and this is this voice. I don't believe in God, but it uses my name. It says, Rick, are you just giving the program lip service, or are you actually going to do it? That's what came into my mind. Now, I knew I had made a commitment to AA and staying sober. And then that came into my mind, and I thought, oh, shit, I know I got to go back in there. And then the thoughts started to come quite rapidly because I'm walking quite slowly. I'm in no hurry to get in there, but the door isn't that far from where I'm standing. And the thoughts are going like this. I'll sneak up to the end of the bar and I'll say, hey, bartender, can you come here a minute? And then I'll whisper to him that I made a mistake and I was wrong. Those were the thoughts, my thoughts. And then I get this thought. No, Rick, you have to clean up your mess the same way you made it.
Yes,
Loudly and in front of everyone. Why? Because this bartender's livelihood is based on his character. And I slandered his character in front of everybody. And I made him look like he ripped me off. And he didn't. And I knew I had to do that. So I went over to the bartender and I said, hey, bartender, can you come here? This guy was a class act. He was just a decent, wasn't a big guy. Everything about this guy was decent. You could feel it, man.
Yeah.
And he comes walking over, and I wouldn't have come near a guy who did that shit to me, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But he comes walking over to me, and I said, I was wrong. You were right. I made a mistake. You didn't cheat me. And I did this loudly and in front of everybody. And he looks at me, and I'll never forget it. He looks at me and he says, apology accepted. And he turned and walked away.
Class act.
What a class way to deal with that. Apology accepted. Whoa. That impacted me. And I walked out of that bar excited and happy for the rest of the day. Why? A spiritual principle practiced. I did something. And I never forgot that. I was only a year and a half sober or so. I mean, a month and a half sober when that happened. Somewhere around there, a month to 2 months, something. And I saw the value in working the 10th step for me.
Yeah,
It lifted
experience with it.
me up.
Yeah.
And I was higher than a kite all day long. What if I wouldn't have done it? I'd have carried that guilt.
That emotional.
And I
benefit.
had to
Yeah.
do it on the spot because I couldn't go back the next day. Those people wouldn't be in there. They had to hear me do that. The people I did it in front of, I had to do it right then and there. And I knew it.
Yeah, you've been stuck with that all day too.
And it wouldn't have had the impact had I went back the next day or a week later or something. No.
Proof.
Right now. You've got to take care of it right now.
Proof.
That was a big experience for me.
Yeah. Change the trajectory of a lot of things. I bet knowing, hey, this worked.
But there's another element of this, of what we're reading. I was about a year sober, and a guy asked me to sponsor him. He was 3 years sober. And I felt quite proud about that. I thought I must be some kind of a spiritual giant, you know, a guy who's 3 years sober wants a guy a year sober, you know. I really did. I mean, I was so arrogant, you know. But I had done a lot of work in the program. I had done a lot of stuff, and I'd done the inventories, and I was in a different place. So I mean, it's not like it was. There was a shift on me, a big time. So he asked me to sponsor him. I did something that most people do in AA, and you might not like this when I say it.
Come on.
There's a tendency to come in here and change your behavior. That's good. Change your behavior. Nobody's arguing that you shouldn't change your behavior, nor am I. Now, Bill had a phrase. He said, the good is the enemy of the very best, Bill Wilson.
The good is the enemy of the very best.
Okay. You get physical sobriety. That's your good. But if you settle down into it, it'll become the enemy of your very best. You'll never achieve your best because you've settled into your good. And it was a warning against complacency. See, and Bill knew this. He used to use that phrase a lot. Come to find out, he stole that from the Oxford groups. That's where he got it from.
Stuff
comes.
Well, yeah, I
from
know, but he
God,
didn't
right?
acknowledge that. He just used it, and took it on as his own,
Right.
Well, okay. So now this guy asked me to sponsor him. So I go into this relationship with him and I'm going to fix him or whatever the hell I'm going to do, get him the right inventory, whatever,
Yeah.
and I find out he's a thief. He's stealing. Now I had stopped stealing. I brought my behavior into accord. I stopped stealing. Now you feel better initially when you stop stealing. So I brought my behavior into accord with my judgmentalness about stealing. Stealing's bad. Okay. So now I feel better initially, right? But I can't forgive myself. Why? Because I can't change that I used to steal. And this guy's a thief. And I am reactive to him. And I don't want to help him. I want to kick his ass when I'm around him.
Mhm.
I want to force him to change so I'll feel better. I brought my behavior into accord with my judgmentalness. I can't change that I used to steal, so I can't forgive myself because I stole at another time. Even though I'm not doing it now, I can't let it go. I got the guilt. This guy is bringing my guilt up. As I interact with him, I'm seeing my self-hatred in him,
Hear this.
and I'm reactive to him. And I don't want to help him. I want to punish him because he's bad and stealing's bad. And I went after him with the big book. It says rigorously honest in here and slam him a few times and I was trying to get him to stop doing it so I wouldn't feel that pain of me seeing my error in him, my guilt in him. And I was not able to control myself very well because of it. And I saw it because I had read, it is a spiritual axiom. The word axiom means truth. It is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what seems to be the cause, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with us. And I knew that was true, whether I liked it or not, I knew it was true. And here's a real life spot check inventory right in front of my face. I want to kick this guy's ass. And I'm mean to him. I'm aggressive. What if I got him to change and he stopped stealing? Would it have had any impact on me? Of course not. I was still judgmental about it. When I came to him and tried to force him to change, I felt terrible. I felt the judgment on myself because I'm telling him he's bad. Well, what am I saying to myself for when I used to steal? I'm bad. See? This guy was giving me an opportunity to forgive myself by seeing him differently.
Talk about full circle. Listen
Yep.
to that.
I was getting an opportunity to heal my own guilt that I carried about stealing because he's demonstrating it right in front of my face. And I noticed that what if I could come with understanding and tolerance? This is not a sponsor who told me to do any of this.
That was the question. Did you
No,
figure
no.
this out on your own?
Yes, because I'd been reading the book.
A little
See?
bit of grace,
This
a
was
little
not the sponsor. And I had Joseph with me at that time. And I started to come. I noticed if I came with judgment and tried to force him to change, I felt terrible. But I noticed if I came with compassion and understanding for his inability to change, give him a break. So what if he's 3 years sober? Give him a break. So what if he's 20 years sober? He's not there yet.
Right.
You don't have to abuse him.
Show him some grace.
And the more I gave compassion to him, the more I started to give it to myself. And as I saw him differently, it lifted off of me. My guilt and my self-hatred went away when I saw him differently.
This is a life lesson. You hear what he's saying? The way I'm treating other people.
This
about self.
This is the essence of the inventory in the big book. What do we look at? The resentments. We look at the people we're resentful at. Why? Because we're going to ask God to reveal something to us so we can see it from a different angle. And once you start to see it from a different angle, you stop hating yourself. You can't, if you're carrying guilt, you're going to be reactive to people and circumstances. And the more you resolve your guilt, the less you're going to have the buttons. So if you're reactive to people and situations, it's because you haven't forgiven yourself. Now, it might be a grievance towards somebody else. Okay. Let's say you didn't steal like I did. We just happened to match up on this one. But what if I didn't steal? It's a grievance towards somebody then. If you're reacting to it out here, it's a grievance towards a resentment towards somebody else from your past. Maybe that stole from you that you're carrying. May not be your behavior. It might be, but the error is still in me.
You said it once. Tim, if it affects you, it's something you need to be dealing with.
That's right. And everybody who comes in and brings your shit into your face is giving you an opportunity to forgive something inside of yourself. Don't miss the opportunity.
Clear the wreckage of my past.
It's right there. And you have a process in the big book to do the 4th step. We do these workshops at 2218. This is the ultimate. And it's not about figuring shit out. You get things revealed in the process of writing. Who reveals it? Who cares?
Who cares?
What does it matter? It certainly didn't come from me because it was outside the boundaries of what I understood.
Right. And who cares?
And everybody in AA who sits down with their sponsees and tries to help them go through that process, through the 4th column, through the first, you could work with them in the first 3 columns, but the 4th column, you want to get out of the room. You want to let them be and let them ask God to reveal something to them because you don't know the events. You don't know what led up to it. You're only getting his side of the story. You have no idea what's going on. And the arrogance of some of us in AA who think we can do that is really astonishing, man. This is reliance on God, not people. Remember in the beginning of the big book, it says we were beyond human aid. This is what they're talking about. This is reliance on God. Well, I don't believe in God. Well, neither did I. This is a big deal. This is probably the highest level of teaching I think AA gets at, is in the 12 and 12 right here, what Bill wrote. So everybody who brings up your shit is giving you an opportunity. He deserves love, not hate.
Love and tolerance. I've only seen
no other way out, guys.
I've only seen good in you.
That's what Joseph said, and I only saw good in him too.
Match. I love this. I timestamped that. I love it.
So this is really what this is about, and we're talking about love, how to love people, and I share this sometimes from the podium when I'm speaking somewhere. Grizzly Adams taught me how to love. I was watching the mountain guy. He used to walk in the field with the bear. Some of you guys might be too young to remember it, but the show was called Grizzly Adams. And because he walked with the bear, the grizzly bear. Ben, Gentle Ben, I think was the bear.
Yeah, Gentle Ben.
Somebody come up to him one day, and I remember this when I was a kid. I saw it, and it had an impact on me, but I didn't understand it. And it wasn't until I was sober, probably maybe 10 years, it came back to me. And I thought, this was brilliant. He's walking with the bear. Somebody comes up and says, hey, Grizzly, meaning the man, why don't you tie the bear up? Aren't you afraid he'll run away? He says, if the bear don't want to be here, I don't want to keep him. That's love. If the girl don't want to be here, I don't want to keep her. If the mother of my kids who left me doesn't want to be here, I don't want to keep her. It's only selfishness that drives you trying to hang on and control. It's your own selfishness that's doing it. It's not love. It has nothing to do with love.
These are life lessons. For me, they become my life lessons in being a better.
So Grizzly Adams taught me how to love. And I saw it when I was a kid. It impacted me. And then it came back to me after I got sober. I went, holy shit, look at what that was.
Oh, Ben. General Ben, doing it for
Well,
Rick.
it was incredible. So I've had I've done a lot of things right by mistake. Not because I knew what I was doing, because I was following this book. I was following the big book. I was reading the 12 and 12. I was doing all this stuff. And I was adamantly, I didn't do anything but this shit for probably 2-3 years. Didn't read other stuff. I read things with circles and triangles on it
Yeah.
because they sanction their literature
Yeah.
with a circle and a triangle. And that means the message is consistent.
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't need inconsistency in my early sobriety. I needed consistency. And that's why they sanctioned the literature. Incredible. What a journey, huh?
I love it. So what I'm gonna do with you guys right now,
Did you get questions or anything, or was there?
I've been addressing them for the most part as we went. This is a great show. Next month,
Hmm.
can I get you guys on the it's Halloween night. You guys got plans that you know of?
You mean in a couple weeks?
Oh no, that's this month. No, next month. Next month is November, right?
Yeah,
Founders Day is going on.
What's the last Friday of that month?
28th.
28th.
I think that's Founders Day weekend.
Is it?
Let me look.
It's
I took a
usually right
picture.
after Thanksgiving. Yeah, that
It's
Friday.
on Thanksgiving weekend.
It's either that Friday or Saturday. I thought last year was.
I
maybe it
took
was-
I took a picture. Thanksgiving changes from year to year.
It's always on the Thursday.
Thursday, right?
Right.
The number.
Your Founders Day is on November 28th,
That's a
29th,
Friday.
That's Friday.
29th. No,
Oh,
Saturday. You know, they're only doing one day.
Yeah,
one day, right?
so Friday the 28th would work.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
That's-
28th. All
that's-
right, perfect. Then I got the whole next month scheduled up. So that's good.
I'll
The
put it on
28th,
my
we're scheduled
calendar.
For the 28th, and we're going to talk about step 11 on the 28th of next month. We're going to do the little fun part of the show where we ask these questions. Before I do that, bear with me, audience, while I thank you guys. You guys out there in TikTok land as well. I'm grateful for you. And if I miss you, I'm sorry. There's just a lot of you were on tonight, a lot of you. So I just want to do this right and thank the right people and say I'm grateful for you guys. Bridget, thank you as always. Jess, Matt, Katie, and Paul, and Will, Frank, Mario, Melissa, Gary, Jesse, Adam, Carol, Brian, Ron, Tom, Tommy, Nick, Andrea, Linda, Snow Soda, Shay, Jen, Nicole, Aaron, AJ, Heather, Jamie, Jamal, Alan, Micah, or Mike. I'm sure both of you were on. Tara, Lisa, Jolissa. Love you guys. Thank you so much for everyone's support and
You
your
guys-
questions.
If you want to come down to 2218 on a Wednesday night, we'll show you how to write the inventory without judging yourself. No, I'm serious.
And it doesn't matter where they're
Without
at.
judgment.
It doesn't matter where they're at on that. It keeps, what is it? A
Continuous.
7-week rotating.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're going to start over
in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
If you don't have a big book and you'd like one, reach out to me. I've got a bunch. We have a scholarship, or someone donated to the show and asked that I purchase basic text and certain literature here, and I have. So if you're in need of a big book or a 12 and 12, I've got tons of them. If you don't have one and you didn't see me before you go down to the workshop, it's fine. They print off a little
The fifth,
worksheets.
We've got chapter 5 printed out on some paper. So if you don't have a big book, just come down.
Just come on down. Don't let that be a roadblock.
But we'll show you how to do this without judging yourself.
Yep.
This is not about self-judgment. It's about releasing self-judgment. You're actually going to forgive yourself through the inventory. Like I shared with you just now about the guy that I was reactive to. I was forgiving myself by seeing him different.
See how that works? Just like a no-brainer, but
Well,
it
it's
works.
the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Forgive
It's the
them
same-
so we can forgive us.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. I say it's a no-brainer, but I spent my whole life not listening to that. Okay, no, fun part. Rick, I know you love this part. Pick a number 1 through 100. There's no wrong number either.
Of course there is. 4.
4. When you were little, who was your favorite superhero?
I suppose Superman.
I thought you were going to say Grizzly Adams.
No.
All right, well, I'm going to follow up with, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Today?
Today, right now. Any superpower. Like Superman superpowers. Any superpower.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I never really think about trying to have a superpower.
This is the fun part of the show.
Yeah.
If you could fly or teleport or read minds or
I can. I do read minds. And I,
fun.
I know. Now you see what I deal with.
Pick a number 1 through 100.
What's up with the 24 up there?
How many hours in a day?
Oh, it's been a long
I, do
day.
I don't do one day at a time. I do 2 days at a time.
Speaking of that, you had the cure for drinking once. I heard you share it at Saturday Night Live from the podium. It was a joke.
Oh yeah, it was crystal meth. Yeah, never drank again.
Never drank again. That's a good one. I love it. I've so stolen that. Mine is cocaine, but what?
You're a lightweight.
24.
Oh, 24. Subliminally, that gets it. Now I know why. If you could choose only one place to go on vacation for the rest of your life, where would it be?
Wow. I don't think I'd ever want to choose one place. I have no clue. Let's
How
see.
about heaven?
Oh, okay, that is a good one. Somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm. If you
That's
could have any
no.
superpower, what would it be?
If I had a superpower, I would pause time. Wasn't it quantum? No, was it quantum leap?
quantum leap is
Because
where he
you
jumps
jump
into
into.
other people.
Yeah, that's weird. I would be able to like freeze time, and then I could get all my work done, and then
There was a show where the guy could do that, and then he's all corny and he talked during. Yes, there
yeah,
was
you could
a show.
freeze time.
Yeah, he froze time. I just saw a skit where they brought him in like to be with the Justice League. He froze time. He just got killed right away. It was pretty funny. Pick a number 1 through 100.
27.
27. If you could instantly be an expert in any subject, what would it be?
Sex.
She said women, you said sex. No, man. Any subject, anything. If you could be an expert at anything, what would it be?
I'm gonna have to go with women.
Me too. Now, I never thought of that, and people have asked this. I've asked this a lot. That's a
Now you know where your
I couldn't-
dependency
I
is.
couldn't lose. I got 2 daughters as well.
Oh,
Right.
there you go. That'd be a cheat code.
Plus,
Right?
So we didn't hear much out of you tonight, which we're not gonna. We have. It's one of our longest shows.
Yeah.
Step 10's a good one to dive into, though. Any superpower, what would it be?
I think Rick's got a superpower. I might take that one.
Oh, you got another fan.
What's that?
I don't know.
He
You
was
are the
one.
superpower. He wants to be Rick. No. The name of the show is Attitude for Gratitude. Tell me about what your gratitude is tonight.
I'm grateful to have the opportunity
You
to.
closer to your mic.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be around, intelligent, driven people in life because I haven't always been in that position. So, yeah, that's what I'm
Awesome. Thanks for coming in tonight. And would you be willing to come back?
grateful. Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Perfect.
Hmm.
Attitude for Gratitude, Misty. Tell me about you, Misty. Tell me about what your gratitude looks like.
I'm grateful for this program and for the fellowship, and I'm really grateful for Rick. Especially he's been constant in my life and consistent, and I don't know. I'm really grateful for that Rick's in my life.
Attitude for Gratitude.
Misty.
What's your gratitude, Rick?
Well, I used to do a gratitude list, and I still do once in a while. And I'd go through and thank God for all the people in my life, especially the difficult people, because they were the ones who forced me to change
Right.
and to grow. And I do that gratitude list. I'd come out and do transcendental meditation.
Yeah, I love it.
We'll talk about that next month. I learned to be a teacher. I learned to teach it. And my sponsor taught TM. And there's a 2-minute period at the end where you got 2 minutes to come up slowly, stop the mantra. And I do a gratitude list, and I'd go through all the people that I was grateful for. And there was always a couple of women that really had an impact on me, not because they were easy, because they forced me to change. And it was good. It was helpful for me. I don't know what they got out of it, but I got a lot out of it. I realized that relationships are not successful because they're longevity. They're successful because I was participating decently. How did I show up? See, and I felt okay about how I acted for the most part. Not 100%, but did I participate decently? So I go through that gratitude list, and I was very grateful for Joseph and for my sponsor and just for the people that have come into my world, because I didn't control it. I just let it happen.
Nice. Thank you. I forgot I had all these filters
Do you
on
still
here.
have them on?
I just now turned it on. I didn't realize it. So
Last time it was cute.
made you a reindeer. I'll take a screenshot so you can see it. But I gotta wrap up. Sorry, audience, for me playing with all this crap. Rick's gonna get a chuckle out of that one. I should have had that one on there. These are good. These are good. There we go. I'll give you those bunny ears again. Both you and Rick have them. And you. Boom. All right. Oh no, turn that up while I talk. All right. So, boys and girls, make sure I have it up.
Guy brought a picture down of me last night at our group, my home group,
Yeah.
from when I ran for the board in 2000 at 2218. So I took a picture of the picture.
Took a picture of the picture.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Let's see this. I'm grateful for you guys. And we're gonna wrap up now. I'm gonna tell you some stuff. Who is that guy?
I know, right?
Jeez, let's
He's
show
wearing
the-
a suit coat, or
This
I think
is
he's
Rick.
It's a long coat. I used to wear a long coat all the time. I
You
still
said this was in 91?
2000.
2001. That's 25 years
2000.
ago.
25 years ago.
25 years ago. Look at Ricky.
what? I always thought you had dark hair. Or
Attitude for Gratitude.
No.
Every Friday night, 8 p.m., 4026 Washington Avenue North. If you haven't been down here, come on down and check out We'll Work for Recovery. Wednesdays, we have another show called Rule 62 with Jake and Ryan. It's really getting some traction. People are coming down. There's starting to be a line out here. First come, first enter. It's a free-for-all show. What I did the last 2 weeks, not a lot of people want to hang out up here for the show on Friday and be a guest on it. So I'm scheduling guests the way the show started and the way I prefer doing it. But I appeased a few people asking if I would do the free-for-all open door thing, and it didn't turn out. I don't like it. You guys don't like it. You don't stick around to watch it, which I understand. We don't get into any substance when someone's telling a story for 8 minutes. So,
I got a story for you. Short
Okay.
story.
well, while I'm shutting her down, we're going to take a pause here.
I want to show you this, and can you hear it? See if you can hear this. I sent this to a guy earlier today up in Duluth. He's a guy who's sober 50 years, and I sent this to him. I said, this is what I send my sponsees. I said, you might want to hang on to this. You could send it to your sponsees when they're talking stupid. So here's what it is. Now
I don't know if you can put that on there.
Is that what it's in?
Yeah, you don't have it on loud.
I hear it. Oh, they heard it. What the fuck?
The poor parrot, he's got his leg all chained up.
I don't even know what I'm getting away with. What the fuck? I love it.
Yeah.
So I sent that to him, and he says, I should send that to myself when I'm talking stupid. I said, that's a good idea.
I love it. All right. Back to it. We're out of here. Gratitude's big. The Soap of Hope, Chucky. You guys know about the armor of Yah, the stone of hope. He blows the bighorn. Shofar. He blows the shofar. Come on down to We'll Work for Recovery. if anything else, like reach out, service work. You heard us talk about that, like get involved. There's always things to do down here. Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. at 2218 First Avenue South. There's a 4-step workshop. It's free to go there. It doesn't cost anything. There's people there to help you out with it. You can go there, just listen, get involved, but it will, if you're there to try something, it's a place to go try something. It's 4-step workshop. By the book. I'm correct in saying by the book. All right. So that's
It was
about it.
titled for a reason.
I know I didn't want to miss something, but you know what? We'll be back, same bat time, same bat pace. Next week, I have a couple guests coming on. I don't remember who I have scheduled, but they'll be here, I promise, on Friday. Get involved, reach out if you're struggling. Please reach out if you're having self-thought harms, dial 988, or give yourself 30 seconds and the thought will pass, hopefully. Great.